Alright, so we're going to start this video off. Today I'm with Fluffyunicorn. Great name, by the way, very unique. And we're against the
Thank you.
notorious Skiffic. Skiffic is very notorious in the community for having a unique playstyle here, and you'll see Fluffyunicorn handle it quite well, and this is a very interesting game. Fluffy, why are you playing this division right now? Why are you liking Brute?
Um, I was playing Brunete because I guess I kind of wanted a change. I wanted to just play some more medium tanks, like AMX-30s, but didn't really want to play, well, people would consider a stronger 5e, which is stronger. Although
Okay.
it's not like Brunete is very much weaker.
Interesting, interesting. So we're thinking that 5e and Brunette are pretty similar matchups as we saw from previous videos. They're the same type of medium tank dev. What is Skiffick's div like? What are you seeing from him? What do you think you're most worried about at this time?
Um, right now I'm just worried about the opener, uh, just mass helis potentially, like Gazelle cannons, maybe even Gazelle Hots. Since they have Gazelle Celtics, so they can kind of weather being like opening up a fighter or anything, let alone the fighters that I bring in my Brunette decks are the F-18s. So they're not something I want to start with as they're a large point commitment.
Right, right.
But if anything, I'm very worried about. Oh, I forgot. I think it's Foxtrot. The point. Yes, Foxtrot. I'm quite worried about because my game plan right now is play a bit more passive, play quite defensive, as Skiffic is legendarily known for pushing lots of lanes at the same time and being very aggressive. So I kind of want to put all my firepower, put all my eggs in one basket, just lightly defend or put some decent defense to like at least slow him down so that I could potentially reinforce and maybe do some sort of sweeping play to like kind of encircle him, go for I think that is the points behind his Bravo, his 2-pointer potentially.
Interesting. Right now we're preferring the right hand side of Foxtrot. Why are you preferring that over taking this left side of Charlie?
Um, Charlie has a lot of weird lines of sight, especially with the forests, and you can get kind of funky with it. You have to kind of. I just didn't want to commit to it, and let alone it would make my deployment on Foxtrot wider.
Okay.
As long as I keep Foxtrot, Alpha, and Echo, I'm on a neutral tick, so I can at least maybe work something out from there, like potentially grind Skiffic down, play for KD. That's
Okay.
kind of what I'm worried about. I just don't want to be on a negative tick for a very long time and just permanently get kicked out of one of my zones.
Looking at this, do you believe you're more of a long game division against him, or are you playing more the medium game and hoping to better trades, or are you thinking you need to
I
take
mean,
advantage of the beginning?
I'm probably more of a long game. My infantry is better, as in I have the funny sappers with SMGs.
Yes,
Those are
yeah, quite
ridiculous
strong.
in CQC, but he has the much better line infantry if he goes for pure quality with the Legionnaires, as they are. You can technically get a free double vet in quotation marks. I'm not sure if he does, and they have a DMR. They're 10-man, very good quality squad. Whereas my Fusileros are just 11 guys with battle rifles, and they're only like 10 points cheaper than a Legionnaire. So, if anything, I can play better for the long game as long as I can do like smoke plus SMG, like Sapper, with Satchel play.
Okay. Okay, so we're not worried about Alpha with the satchels, really. We're thinking we're going to be quite strong if he attacks from that point.
Yes. Well, it's not like he doesn't have satchels. He also has satchels, but I think, and yes, SMG satchels should be regular rifle satchels. I'm not fully sure on that.
Okay, yeah, neither am I, neither am I. We're also looking like we're thinking he might try and do a flanking play here,
Oh,
or we're trying to
yes.
get the flank as
Oh,
well.
yeah. So there's one thing that there's a couple things that I know about Skiffic, just because I've watched him play a little bit in Discord VCs and just know roughly, in that he really dislikes people backlining, but he never really protects against it. So I'm like, I'm
Ah.
just gonna do that. Get myself every sort of edge as I can, right?
Playing the mental game and a little bit of an advantage because we know him. Interesting.
Yes.
¿Cuáles son sus órdenes, señor?
And we're buying the more heavy tanks of the medium tanks in the div to start out with.
Yes. So, I think starting with Stepliers makes more sense in a pure tank on tank edition because of that extra point of armor that they have compared to the regular things, the regular tanks. Although now that I think about it, well, I guess it's a big difference because 1 point of armor will mean you take 0.5 less damage. And on top of that, since they are ERA, they have 1 extra HP.
Right.
So these should be a bit more resilient in theory for the extra price increase.
And with that 222 max range and the 7% accuracy, it's a tank you don't want to mess with. Plus the 3 guns for the anti-infantry.
Yes, these are very good tanks, AMX-30s, as they're one of their 50 cals is coaxial. So
Yeah,
they
I'm
have
always too
accuracy.
afraid to do that in the opener and always buy their heavier tanks. But looking like you're buying the heavier tank to keep that punch and hold that line better, it makes sense.
Yeah,
A
so
sus órdenes.
typically I play more heavier divisions. Like I really like I really enjoy playing 8th Infantry. So I've kind of learned to do this. If you have like a more quality, like an M1, I always start with an iHawk or some sort of quality AA behind it.
Keep it alive. Keep it alive.
Yeah.
Rojo 6. Montado.
The pathing, I love the pathing in this map. This
Yeah,
pathing's ridiculous up
that was
here,
something
ridiculous over
I
here.
complained about. Yes.
I can't stand the pathing on this map. They need to fix it. The amount of times you come up here, the enemy owns Charlie, and your units just get killed because you're trying to come this way is just insane. And the amount of times it takes the long way around to get right where you want them here, it's hilarious to me. All right, so looking at this, what do we think he's going to be reacting right now? Where do you think he's trying to push for right now? What are the points that you're thinking he's going to be the main aggressor on?
Unidad de reconocimiento a sus órdenes.
Definitely both Alpha and Foxtrot. Although I think for Alpha, I kind of assumed he wouldn't take the Ravel roads, but rather the road from his perspective, the right of Ravel. So you see where that Jeanette's going. I've kind of put him in one of the buildings to potentially catch out like someone who if he drives a transport too aggressively.
Right,
Enemigo
right.
detectado. Preparaos.
And exactly like you said, the natural skific openers, using the recon helis and the cannons to get that vision. He wants to know everything that's going on quite early in the game. I'm guessing that's why we open these Gahi boys.
Yes, these are specifically to deal with the Gazelle cannons.
And that cluster, Dizzy, wow, that hurts. I'm guessing the mindset right there is you're not happy with yourself.
Yeah, I think as soon as I saw that, I was annoyed or angry at first, and then at second, it was painfully obvious, right?
Right.
It's also another thing he is known for, first sticking a cluster and using recon heals or like first sticking a bomber to snipe
Right.
the opening blob.
Hey, you can't prepare for everything all the time. It's always hindsight 2020, right? So, especially being able to come back from that. So losing that right now, what is your mindset, especially seeing this push right here? What are we buying? What are we reacting
Rojo
to?
6. Montado.
Why are we doing that?
Thankfully, earlier I had
Preparaos.
immediately bought reinforcements on the first tech for the left. That's why
Mhm.
I didn't have a fighter or anything to protect myself from the bomber. So thankfully, and because the reason I bought first tick reinforcements for the left is like 70% of my opener is on the right side.
Right.
So
right.
I knew for a fact that I would need more reinforcements on the left, right?
Solo sacadme de aquí.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
getting
that was
quite aggressive as usual. Quite aggressive as usual. I feel like that opener, though, with the Milans and the more defensive line, like you were saying, is helping you stay a little bit alive here.
Guarda día líder
We
rojo.
don't get
Estoy
through
escuchando.
either. This is
Le han
just
dado al
so
sargento
aggressive from all
Highway.
the lanes, exactly like you said.
Continúe,
Did we
control.
get the pick? Did we get the pick? No, does not look like it.
Rojo 6. Montado.
Did we win that fight there?
yes. Luckily, I
Wow.
had a tank behind, and I was able to unload my infantry, and it
Mhm.
didn't split the truck. So I'm able to reload my infantry squad and bring it up.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a little bit of trades in our advantage. We're holding ourselves, and we know what's going on. We have an understanding of what we're seeing. We have a long game flank here. What's that next tick we're buying? Looks like we're trying to get back into Alpha again. We're trying to put some infantry in there.
Yes, I'm getting some more of the sapper units into the town. I
Mhm.
think the worst thing right now for me, I'm thinking, is I absolutely do not want him to cement his position in that town, because it is going to be, even though I have the SMG squads, it's going to be absolute hell to push back into.
Yeah, especially trying to get back over this ridge. A lot of people don't realize this ridge. If they get that hillside and get this tree line pushing through here, it's a little bit difficult. At least from my understanding. Did we catch him out here? That will be a huge pick. 40 ECBM fighters slept on as well. And we got a double hit on it. Wow.
Yeah, I got very lucky there. I didn't even realize he had snuck a fighter into my backline, and I very luckily spawned in a fighter whilst he had his side towards me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. So we didn't even know. We thought we needed one, and we got the back. That's interesting.
Yes, I wanted to buy the fighter because he has that cluster. I bought an
Right.
AT plane second tick, so I wanted to at least give some sort of well, since now I'm pushing very aggressively for his rear 2 pointed zone to hopefully make some problems for him. There is a very high likelihood that he just buys a second cluster or more helis, so I buy the fighter, and it helps me as well with the AT plane at the same time.
So this is where I think my lack of understanding, or maybe just the difference of the playstyle. If I saw all this pushing here, I'd be too afraid to start pushing Delta. Why are we thinking the best move is to start pushing around instead of reinforcing where we know he's got the units at?
Well, I'm hoping it's more like a kind of a race to his backline. If I can cut off his reinforcements
Okay.
and kind of stall at least, maybe trade equally, even if he finally breaks through, I can at least buy time for me to fix the problems that he's created for me in the back.
Interesting. Okay.
But unfortunately, that didn't really work out that well.
I feel like this AT plane, it's either a love or hate relationship right now. We're getting a couple hits, but we're also getting a couple really crucial misses in open fields.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess the problem with AT planes compared to clusters, they're not always guaranteed.
Right, right. 55% hit chance plus the smoke and line of sight has always been a plane. But just like you said, now he's got that cluster. He's also got that 40% ECM fighter, so it's something that has to be taken advantage of or taken care of, per se. Very interesting. Not a single missile hit from either plane here. Nothing's hitting anything here.
Yeah, definitely a very strange air fight going on.
Yeah.
But I managed to buy the second fighter. I think, kind of baiting him towards me, just installing for the next tick to happen.
Okay, okay, yeah, we're buying another plane again. We bought in 4 planes so far early here. Is it because of this open field, or what was the thought process here? Why the planes is the natural buy for you?
To be honest, I was kind of tilted because I had played some previous games. I lost, kind of, and I wasn't really happy. I was just flinging planes and just hoping that I could maybe make something work and just roach my positions, essentially. Because right now he's kind of, I have that recon helo. I don't see any vehicles right now that's pushing for Foxtrot. It's just infantry, so I'm hoping I can just like hold my ground in Foxtrot and like keep in a bay, and especially with how there's no infantry coming from the front and the infantry is only coming from the rear, which is a bit like flipped or like the other way around. I'm hoping that I can pick off his tanks with AT planes. Also, the fact that Skific is also very famous for not buying AA.
Interesting, I didn't know that about him.
Yes, he doesn't really buy that much AA and only really buys it when it gets a bit too late, or I'm not really sure on his like buying mindset.
Interesting. So we're getting a little bit of stress out. So we're getting a couple hits though. This is definitely probably going to pay off in the end. That'll be very interesting to see the kill feed in that at the end game. See how much we got there. So looking at this, we're at a +2. We're worried about this side of Charlie. I know a lot of people like to come down this Charlie side. Are we not too worried about that, seeing as he's got a lot of tanks over here? What are we thinking he's reinforcing right now?
Right now, I see a lot of stuff in front of Foxtrot. That's why I've got that recon helo coming in, like pushing into the Alpha town. Right now, I'm just worried about, can I kick him out of Alpha? I see that he has very little units. His CV is like kind of unprotected. I am kind of worried about the forest, but seeing as how he kind of just full sent, like for the rear to like backline me, right, from Charlie, I'm assuming as of now that there's basically nothing in Charlie.
I'm just like, pick. We just keep losing vision. Unlucky. I also felt like it was a little bit like he also kept this plane around, I'm guessing, for the 2 long-range missiles to try and suppress anything coming in.
Yes.
Oh.
Also, the fact that they're exceptional optics. So.
Okay. Okay, so you keep them for the vision as well.
Yes.
Interesting.
So as long as I have the vision, even if I think I'll only evac if I don't have a bomber out, or if I know the enemy has a lot of AA. But I kept it around because exception optics, it tells me whether it's safe for me to keep the AT plane out or not.
Interesting. See, that mindset is very, because I would be like, I need to evac it right away. I need to make sure to get the missiles back in there and make it resupply. And that vision mindset is quite smart. I literally have not thought of that up to this time, and I've quite a bit of hours in this game. That's a very interesting point you brought up.
Yeah, I think it's quite important, I guess, in this matchup, because right now I don't have any radar AAs. I think my MX-30 on the right on Foxtrot died.
Yep.
And even then, that's not radar, so it doesn't give very good vision. And on top of that, the F-18s are like, they're 1 per tick, so they're very cheap for what you get out of them, in terms of quality.
Right, and the purpose of it is because the AT planes are there. You're not just leaving it up there for no purpose. Your purpose is because right now your gameplay revolves around getting these AT planes out there and picking off these overextended units that don't have that air support. Now these crafts are notoriously known for being quite good in the French division. They hurt. Unfortunately, these are not the ones with the satchels. But it does look like we easily kill the Legionnaires with those SMGs, especially with that new buff recently. So what's the mindset here? What are we thinking? Do we think we're going to capitalize? Do we think we stop the tick? We're only down 500. As we know from you high-level players, these tick you're not too concerned about throughout the game. We're not sitting there stressing out about being on a -2 or a +2 for quite some time. What's your reaction to get that positive tick on your end? Where are we trying to push?
I think right now I'm very happy because I've survived the beginning onslaught. I've a somewhat stable situation front. There's not much. There shouldn't be, or I assume that there's barely any units aside from that Spahi in my backline. So now it's just a simple 40-minute grind. Need to figure out somewhere to apply pressure, preferably, because if I can at least apply some pressure, I can maybe distract Skific, potentially divert some of his points, and make his attacks, his counterattacks, I guess, weaker.
Yeah, a lot of times people talk about is getting them to spend points where you want them to, so you can accomplish something somewhere else. A lot of people don't think about that as much. You gotta understand that it's just like chess. If you react, they're gonna react to something as well. You want them to play into your hand, not the other way around. Does the AT plane get this? No, probably not with the missiles. I also saw the strafing runs. A lot of times people don't understand the strafing runs with your planes, especially the artillery guns and the cannons, will do some pretty good work, stress out the unit, and give yourself an advantage. So that was pretty smart to do on the Sipahi here. We're still not worried about this tree line here. See, I always get so nervous about this time rain. I'd be so nervous right now coming down this tree line. I always get picked off, and I always miss out on that. I think we're quite lucky there's nothing in there right now. Or did you know that? Was there something I missed?
Yeah, I think I would say I'm definitely lucky. I wasn't really thinking so much as that, but judging by the fact that he kind of full sent into alpha, there was definitely still the likelihood that he can't, like, there was one, like, reserve infantry squads being held
Right.
back, but I think that's very unlikely of Skiffic. He normally just full sends, very much uses all of his units in a very maximum way.
Okay. Okay.
But I
Sounds
think
fine.
at this point I've bought some units for Charlie because I would have assumed that Bravo has been reinforced and he's probably building up to attack Foxtrot. So in my head I'm thinking Charlie is probably the easiest to attack, even
Okay.
if I don't really like fighting there. It's the easiest to attack and it can put me on a plus tick, and all I can do is like just put the initial attack there, leave them there. If I lose it in the later round, that's whatever. I can then attack for Bravo or pivot back to Bravo.
Okay.
Basically use the attack on Charlie as a way to secure some points and as a distraction too.
Interesting. He really just doesn't buy any anti-air here. You just all this fire support just from his planes.
Yeah, so I saw that he has an A and I think Bravo it was. So I kind of just assumed that if he had full
God.
sent outside of Charlie, he wouldn't have any AA there. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I guess I was also kind of worried that he would stack a lot of planes and potentially have a horde to like kind of blob.
It gets out too though. That is insane. I cannot believe
Yeah,
that
that
he's
was
got
very lucky of me. Very lucky and unfortunate.
And again, these missiles just don't hit each other with these planes. This is what, the third fight where we finally hit one? And we got the tree.
Yeah, I managed to gun run the
Wow.
left. What is the other Mirage 2000s?
That is wild. And like you said, like you thought about, he didn't have much up here, so that was definitely the right play here. Getting to this top to start the tick for yourself. We're seeing movement on the right-hand side now. I see we're balled up here a little bit. Is that on purpose, or looking back, do you think you split it up a little bit more?
Definitely not on purpose. Definitely focusing more on the left, and I think also just really focusing on the air micro as well.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. There was that fight here, as well as luckily the fight with the fighters was right above it, so it didn't look like you had to go too far with your mouse to see a different spot. It looks like we were doing quite well having anti-air moving with our units here. Something Skiffic has lacked in this game, but it looks like we're not able to do much on this right-hand side with these gazelles now reinforcing until they get up there. So at this point, me looking at this, I'd be quite concerned, again, as you've already stated, about that push to Fox. As always, there's that little left-hand field there, but also that push down to Alpha. What do you think he's planning right now?
I think right now he's probably planning on the Foxtrot push. Right now he's decapped it and also potentially counterattacking me and on Charlie or the left side, the hill.
Oh, he snuck some vision in here. That's why he's so confident right now. I also saw that targeting of the anti-air with the AT plane too. So very smart. A lot of people might want to go for that command vehicle, but like you said, you know, you're up. It takes you high players aren't really worried about it in the beginning. So killing that anti-air, it can't kill your AT plane. That makes it better used later in the game. So it's quite smart targeting by you there.
Yeah, I was just hoping that if 60 has a very limited amount of AA, they only have that one card of Quotals. So I was hoping that if I could kill the Quotals, I could then use better recon to then snipe the tanks and the CVs.
Right, start snowballing more. We're doing the same thing with Trask here. Unfortunately, got a little bit stunned. Now he's making a split across the map here. Are we concerned here? Do we think we have enough? What are we thinking here? What's your mindset right now?
think when I saw that on the left, I was very concerned. I saw a lot of stuff there, and I was being attacked right. And I thought, even though earlier I felt quite happy that I survived the rush, I felt there was kind of a mindset now that I might actually just be too negative to come back from this.
Interesting. Oh, if that hit that Quetel, that might have been a huge game changer with this open field. He would not have been able to do much to support it. And your tanks have held on quite strong, especially that command tank. I bet that was your MVP up there.
Enemigo avistado.
We're not too concerned, it looks like now. It looks like we fought off that attack. He did take the foxtrot point, but it looked like he paid dearly for it. Are you quite happy with how that turned out?
Yes. I'm just now that I've seen that he's kind of like pushed for Foxtrot, and I think he's pulled back with his tanks. I'm now kind of getting the idea that Bravo might be a bit empty and that I can push for it.
Hmm.
As you see that I'm probing with the Jeanettes.
Right.
Also, at the same time, I have an idea that it might be empty, but also I kind of want to make sure that there isn't like a whole bunch of stuff there waiting to push back into Alpha as well.
Why don't you bring the HE plane, or do you bring the HE plane, and we'll see you later on?
I don't. This deck doesn't have HE planes. It's 2 cards of F-18s and 2 cards of the F-18 AT. So there's no HE plane. Think the HE plane isn't that good in this division. It's like lots of small bombs, so the reload isn't that good, and the HE damage isn't that great.
Okay.
And I think on top of that, with the new SMG change, theoretically you shouldn't struggle too much in terms of pure infantry on infantry engagements that you need an HE bomber.
Got it. So you don't need. Got it. So you're buying something and putting things in your deck that match the value of what you need. You're not worried about the infantry, so why need an HE to take care of the infantry?
Exactly.
That makes sense. Do we get the pick off again? These AT planes are becoming your bread and butter this game almost.
Yes, they have been very, very good. And I think another thing is that since the Brunete is more of a medium tech division, and this is like a ranked deck,
Yeah.
more a generalist thing, I'd rather have lots of good AT capabilities rather than having less.
Right, especially against the other heavier tanks like 5E and Third Armor and something like that, just in case you came across that type of div.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting thought process here. I'm not seeing any Arty by you. Do you not buy Arty usually? Are you not an Arty player? You don't believe in it? You would have bought it? What do you think?
I do play artillery. It's just that I didn't think there was many problems I specifically needed artillery to solve. Like there isn't like ATGMs in that very difficult spots, or infantry in very difficult to get to spots. Like this map is pretty much mainly a tank fight right now, since we're fighting for Foxtrot and Charlie. So it's a lot less infantry focused. Maybe if I was pushing for Bravo, I would buy artillery.
Okay. So it doesn't match what you're trying to accomplish right now. See, I just reactionarily always try and have two. That way there's firing throughout the game for point value. But like you're saying, if it's not matching your mission and your AT planes can take out the tank, why have Arty?
Yes, and I think on top of that, since Skiffic is a very high tempo player, artillery is not that great of a buy, as I have M109s, and I guess I could buy the M108s, but I don't really trust them for sniping ATGMs unless I buy all 3 of them, which is 300 points worth.
And you want to keep that tempo. The tempo is the main thing in this game. People are very drastically underestimate. Unlucky. We got a couple pickoffs here, looks like, but looks like he was able to unload in time. Snipe that one tank. Right now, are we thinking that we're on positive trades, even trades? What do we think we're trading right now?
I think right now I'm kind of even. Oh, I think early when I said I was maybe too negative was because since I bought a bunch of planes, I thought maybe I'd too little ground units invested.
Right, overinvested. Okay. Yep.
Yes. But I think now that that I like managed to fend off the Charlie push, I'm kind of happy, and the fact that I've managed to build up to take Foxtrot, I feel like I'm in a good position to start pushing. I'm
Okay.
also like starting to probe for a Bravo as well.
Yeah, with all the pushing he's doing, I usually I'd be worried about having recon angles all around, especially because he controls the back middle of this map. But honestly, with how much he's been just buying and pushing constantly, he doesn't look like he maybe has a secondary line to reinforce and have control over things.
Yeah, that's also another reason to push Bravo, because there's those two buildings that are they're not in the Bravo point, but on my side and the forest patch, those overlook into Foxtrot. So I'm kind of a bit scared to push into Foxtrot in case of that there's a whole bunch of Vab Mephistos or just ATGMs.
Right. These triple vet legions are scary looking at them. 19 pen max range with 80% accuracy.
Yeah, they're very, very scary.
Do we get a pick? We got one, it looks like. Now, in your mindset with the planes right here, are you willing to start trading for enemy tanks, or are you still trying to keep them alive throughout the game? What's your thoughts here?
Ideally, you always want to keep planes alive. I think there I kind of hard committed. The idea was that I had 3 planes, and I also thought he had a lot less AA. So I was hoping if it was just 1 or 2 Cortals, if I flew all 3 planes, I could maybe mess with their targeting. They would spread out their targeting, and I could have like the AA planes soak some of the damage for the bombers to get through.
Yeah, it looks also like these Cortels are not hitting for me either. This is a very...
Yeah, luckily
he didn't have any, and now they're
on
not
my
hitting.
yeah, luckily the RNG on my planes is, I would say, very good on this match.
Yeah. And we're doing that probing like you're saying. A lot of probing, a lot of fire support getting there. It looks like you play a style where you get set up before you do things. A lot of people would be worried about getting a tick and would have tried to push in here early. You waited for a lot of reinforcing units. You waited to have that support and that just like you're talking about, that thing you wanted for each mission. You needed that probe, so you had to get the infantry there first. You need the anti-air, so you could wait till they get there first. It seems like you're methodically slowing it down to get what you need to get to where you want to go, not worried about rushing ahead.
Yeah, I think I could also get away with it since he was only up 400 points, because right now it's 15 minutes left. I think I kind of realized that, and I started walking to the Foxtrot and realized that I should start picking up the pace.
Right. It also looks like he has no idea here. This is going to be a fun little back shot on him. Yeah, I mean, just like the overwhelming support you have here, it looks like that's why you're winning your fights. Does it survive? 1 HP. Ooh, last tick. On a +3 now, though. That's quite comfortable. At this rate, you're definitely going to win this game. At this top left-hand side now, though, it looks like he's taken out your main force. It looks like he's attacking multiple areas at once. What are you thinking here? Are we concerned here? Do we think we're going to get reinforcements up in time?
Yeah, I was hoping to get some reinforcements for Charlie, but then seeing how much stuff there, I realized that I would just try and roach there as long as possible. Maybe snipe the CV. But if anything, that's pretty much, it served its purpose, me capping Charlie. Now is kind of like a telltale sign for me to hurry up and get into Bravo and start taking the rest of the map.
Okay. Do you think you should have been more aggressive anywhere, or what are you thinking right now were your mistakes and things that you would do differently next game if you had the opportunity?
I think I could have definitely played a bit more aggressive. I think my micro was also quite slow. I think just recently I've been a bit slow with my micro. I've been a bit negligent of my units, especially with points. I have been floating a lot of points recently. I think on top of that, it doesn't help that I was super concentrating on the air micros as well,
Mm,
which kind of bailed me out, I guess. So it probably makes
Joder, eso ha estado
it was
cerca.
probably an okay thing to focus a lot on the air micro.
okay. Yeah, also I'm seeing a command here. It could have been up here. Do you think we would have moved that looking at that now and just didn't notice it, or are we really worried
Definitely
about
would have
him pushing
moved
down?
that up. I do get
Another Cotel
after
snipe.
he takes Charlie, I do get somewhat worried that he might backdoor me into Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do. Yeah, I bought
Yeah,
a
I
whole
saw the.
bunch of
Yep.
Fusilaris C90s to kind of garrison the forest and garrison the town.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, he's doing exactly that. He's like pivoting all his stuff from Charlie into Alpha.
No podemos aguantar más.
A todas las unidades, enemigo avistado.
We're still looking pretty strong. That right-hand side is looking pretty
Esperando
strong
órdenes.
still. Are we worried about reinforcing across this open field here, or are we just
Le han dado
making
al
sure we
sargento
keep what we
Highway.
got where we are so we doesn't start snowballing because we're on a plus tick right now?
I think right now I'm playing quite safe or quite defensively. Also, saw that since he moved away from Charlie, that I could counter back into Charlie again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But right now, I'm just hoping that with all the AT planes that I got, I can hopefully use recon to defend myself
This would be a
against
good
the
snipe.
Alpha.
Yep. That stops a lot of fear from you, probably, and him getting that tick into
Enemigo
Alpha.
avistado.
These AT planes, I am very interested to one, see that back line, and then see these AT plane kill feed. These are... We were talking earlier, they're only hitting about 50-50, but that 50 they do hit is sure working out for you.
Enemigos delante, listos para el ataque.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So we're down about 90 points right now, 9 minutes left.
Estoy fuera,
Just
cambio.
talked about it, and what do you know?
Habla, rojo 2. Enemigo avistado.
Does the air trade start working out? The amount of missiles that are not working out here. It seems like the gun runs are better, more effective. We got the Haas taking care of that back line. We're not worried about a tank push through the open field here. Got the Mon in the tower.
Enemigo avistado.
What are we doing to try and get back on that plus? What are we trying to do to get this win here? What are we thinking?
Probably push for Bravo, hopefully, and also definitely push for Charlie.
Yep. Like we
Kind
were
of
talking
at least
about
give
earlier.
myself, yeah, kind of give myself do 2 different attacks so that if one of them fails,
Joder,
I can at
eso
least
ha
have,
estado cerca.
but the other one succeeds, I at least have like redundancy, right?
Mm-hmm. Just miss micro, I guess. Maybe he's tilted. It's just out in the open against. That is. Miss
Yeah,
micro.
definitely very unskiffic, like, yes.
Yes. Something is going on. And honestly, like we were talking about earlier, you wait to have what you need to successfully complete the mission that you're trying to do. You're not rushing it. You're not sitting here saying the time's running down and you're not sending up one tank at a time. You're building up a force in order to get that mission done. So another thing that people really realize, you know, you don't just need to spend points and throw them out there. You can spend
Estoy
points
fuera, cambio.
and get whatever mindset you have to complete it, know what you need to do to get there.
Comunistas al
And it looks like that's
Yeah,
one of
I
your
think-
strong suits as a player.
There was, I think, someone, there's a person in the FOB Discord called Skate, and I think one of his, like, famous things that he says is always stack your bread, as in, build up first, don't just go in one by one and feed.
Mhm.
Stack your bread and then attack all in at once. Like, you can do these, like, little probing attacks, little small attacks, to try and, like, further advance your, I think very specifically, like, recon. Recon is very important, and doing these, like, small attacks to further move up your recon is very important.
Yeah, but the probing and the reconning is not the attacking. It's just exactly that, like you're saying. You have a mission to probe or you have a mission to attack.
Yes.
And we're also looking like we're stalled out a little bit here. Maybe we're focused on this right side a little much. We're not capitalizing on this right now.
I think, again, I'm very afraid. I bought a smoke mortar for the left, so there's not really very good hiding spots for a command unit on the left, so I want to just smoke a corner and put the command unit in.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely would have tried to get at least this
Segundo pelotón
infantry up in the
listo,
tower to
señor.
try and get vision.
Yeah,
See if it was
definitely
worth
hitting
me to
my
get scared or
APM
not.
limits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, yep. Well, the game looks like it's about to end here quite soon, so either you're going to give up, we're looking pretty strong though, or you're going to do something to really piss off Skiffic to close it out here. Wonder how this is going to end up. Looks like we're pretty defensive, we're pretty set up, we're supporting the side, it looks like you might take a
Habla,
push
rojo
here.
2,
Are you going
enemigo
to snipe
avistado.
this?
Raven 4 esperando.
Oh my god, maybe that was his last CV. And if that was his last CV, he might see the writing on the wall here. As well as
Esperando
his
instrucciones.
crossfire.
He actually did type and he said that was his
Hemos
last
gastado
CV.
toda la munición.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You definitely had multiple on the field. He also wasn't able to kill a lot of them throughout the game. He probably was aware of that. Understood what was about to happen. Very interesting game. Skiffic rushed off very much in the beginning, probed all the lines like you thought about. And I really think that defensive mindset you had in the beginning really paid off in slowing it down and not losing your cool when you started seeing things
A sus órdenes.
going astray in the very beginning for you, especially losing four tanks in the beginning there.
Yeah,
That
basically a
would've-
third of the points. That was 400 points worth of tanks that died to that cluster.
That would have been very disheartening to the average player, I can presume. And the
So I was
trades,
definitely disheartened.
the trades here is wow. I was not expecting that. I knew the planes were doing well. I knew your trades were doing quite well, but I was not expecting that much of a difference in the kill feed there. So the MVP, before we start going through this, what do you think was the MVP unit for your team here, your division this game?
Definitely AT planes, yes.
Yep. Looking at the very first top piece here, they are paying for themselves 2 times over, 3 times over. Tank fights went quite well, and I'm guessing this is the VEC in the backline there.
Yes,
Yep,
I think that was, yep.
I can
Definitely
fairly
got his
say
money's
it
worth.
paid for itself quite well, and then the other AT plane paid for itself maybe even more. This one just wanted the commands. It was hunting every command possible. 4 alone right there. Command tank doing all right. I was just killing the legions. Yeah, everything else is playing pretty 1-to-1, fair off. Everything was doing what you needed. Those AT planes definitely, I think you were saying earlier, you were focused a lot in the air, so a lot of the micro on the ground, but there's only so much you can do. And when you see a unit like these carrying yourself quite well, there's really no need to go anywhere else when all your eggs are in a basket and it's paying off, right? If you got
Yeah,
your
exactly.
if you got your 3-point shooter and they're hot that night, you might as well let them keep shooting threes. Well, I really appreciate this. Thank you very much for coming out for this game. I greatly enjoy it. I greatly enjoy your mindset on it. I've learned something new this game, so I think hopefully other people are learning some stuff as well. Thank you very much, Fluffy, for coming.
No problem, and thank you for having me as well.
Of course, of course.